be recording, right? Yep. Ah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragán, bringing you boxing. Sorry, there is nothing fun to put up on the screen. So we're going to keep the show pretty minimalistic this week since I'm dying of everything. And I can barely move a mouse button. So let's rewind and talk about Kambosos. And then the Devin Haney World Tour. Take it over from there, Miguel.
Well, first and foremost, we're hoping a lot more from from Kambosos. Either it was Kambosos not doing, the same Kambosos not showing up, the one that showed up against Teofimo, or Devin Haney is just that good. So that's kind of that was the question, right? Is Kambosos just gonna be another Jeff Horn kind of deal, like beats the man and then ends up losing the belt to somebody else and then basically fading into obscurity. As I understand it, there's a rematch clause, and supposedly, at least after the fight, Camboso said that he wants to exercise that, right? So, there's a chance we might get a second one. I'm not sure if I really saw anything in that first fight that would make me believe or lead me to believe that Cambosos can do anything differently in a rematch, but um, I was. It wasn't the most terribly entertaining fight. I did watch it in its entirety. I watched it a second time just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But Devin, he did his thing. He did what he needed to do. He was a lot more effective. I can only take so much of the clinching, the inside holding, that tactic that everybody and their mom says it's like, oh, it's great strategy, it's great boxing IQ, it's great strategy. Anytime somebody gets close to you, you just nullify them by clinching. I could only take so much of that, and I really wish that the referees would do that as well. At least like at the moment, when a fighter is hurt, I get it. You're going to try to shake the cobwebs and buy yourself some time, right? That's understandable. But if you're doing that as a tactic to nullify your fucking opponent, it I think at some point the referee has to be like, all right, enough fucking clinching, bro. Are you going to fucking fight or what? Give him stern warnings. But they let him get away with it, whatever. Even that, with that, I'm not sure if that would have changed the damn, the outcome of the fight. Devin Haney would have most likely gotten the victory anyway, but that does kind of irk me a little bit. Not to take away anything from Devin Haney's victory, but again, it wasn't the most exciting fight. We saw, what happened. Devin Haney is, I believe they said, the youngest undisputed champion ever, like undisputed champion, if I'm not mistaken, like everything, or at least in the lightweights. But congratulations to Haney. He got himself the victory. He went over to enemy territory and he did it over there. So that's props. And we got ourselves another American champion. So we can't complain about that. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Cambosos. I'm hoping he kind of gets his shit together and maybe comes out with something different in the rematch. But really, I'm kind of pessimistic there. Nonetheless, congratulations to Haney. We got ourselves an undisputed champion at lightweight.
Andrew.
He was 23 years old. He went to the airport and was told his father couldn't join him. He goes to a hostile crowd of 40,000, I guess they're saying, estimated was there. And he puts on a grand performance. You add 3 years to Devin Haney, he's probably the best fighter in the world here when he's 26. He looked special because of his age and the situation that he was put in. Yes, his dad got to ultimately go out there and train him for that fight. But you got to think of the butterflies that young man had going first without him and not knowing if he was going to be there. Still didn't mess him up the week of the fight, didn't lose sleep, didn't, come in with any excuses. What I loved about that fight on Kambosos' side, his speed was there, man. There was so many punches where Kambosos threw that right hand and you just went, woo! Like it almost hit him. It was close. But Haney's reflexes, they were amazing that night because of the speed Kambosos showed. And he was still able to move out of the way. Kambosos messed up. Look, I think I say it all the time. Not going to shy away from it. Americans are the best boxers in this sport. I don't know why these young men from other countries try to outbox American boxers. Canelo did it with Floyd. Kambosos did it with Haney. Trying to go jab for jab, trying to throw counter, trying to make it a chess game. It's a game they hardly ever win. He didn't win on Saturday. He got schooled. He needed to make that a fight. He needed to go in there. He needed to put Haney on the ropes, and he needed to hand it to him. Look, the holding, I agree, Miguel. At some point, you would wish the referee would step in and do something. But I also got to say, I blame fighters. You know, back in the day, they used to say, if you're holding, you ain't punching. That's a good thing. There was fighters back in the day. You weren't holding Mike Tyson. You weren't holding Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez. You didn't hold these guys. Fighters allow that to happen too. They need to get a little bit more rougher on the inside to not allow that clinching. Maybe have that fighter think twice about clinching on the inside because he's getting roughed up so much. Headbutt, shoulders, whatever you got to do to get that man off, a forearm to the face. I mean, you get 3 warnings before a point. Do whatever you have to get that man off of you. So I like the fight. I like the lightweight division is booming. Look, I want the rematch. Let Kambosos deserves it. He gave Haney a shot when no one else would. They put on a great fight. A lot of people showed up. I would run it back if Kambosos wants to. Run it back. Try to change up the game plan because obviously you're not out jabbing Haney. You're not, out countering him. He's faster than you. Technically, he's just better. But he matches him in a lot of things where it's still an interesting fight, and they're 2 big names. So I'm interested in the run back if they do it, and if not, I'm all for that too because both of them they will have good careers and maybe they meet sometime down the line again.
And I do want to add something else too. It's kind of, I mean, I'm probably nitpicking here, and it's probably just exactly that, nitpicking. But it kind of irks me that, at one point when we thought, I mean, it's the lightweight division is still popping, so it isn't like it's not popping. Still, it is. But when we had Teofimo, Ryan, Gervonta, fucking Haney, and even Loma still in the picture at the time, having those guys and be like, damn, it would be great if they all fucking fought each other. Some roundabout way, we have ourselves an undisputed champion with like damn near none of those guys fighting each other. It's like fuck, man. It still kind of irks me that that's ultimately the point, right? Here comes the dark horse kind of sort of deal, right? The sleeper in Kambosos, and basically, he beats Teofimo, who beats Loma, and then now all the belts are in Haney. So I want to give props to Haney because regardless, he did his fucking thing and he's the undisputed champion. But it kind of still sucks to some degree that it didn't go by the way it was supposed to. And granted, Loma kind of had the belts already anyway, so it's just a matter of passing them along. But it kind of just irks me a little bit that he's still the champion. I mean, he's the undisputed champ, right? And not having fought the Ryans and the Gervontas and the Lomas, at least not yet. So I mean, whatever. Hopefully the fights come around. It's just now I feel it's that Keith Thurman thing. It's like at first, before he's at the top, he's like, oh, I'm not the kind of champion that would duck people. I'm gonna fight everybody. And then that tune changes when he has the belts. So I hope, and we've heard the same from Devin Haney. He wants to fight everybody. It's about legacy, right? That's pretty much what it is. So hopefully now that he has the belts, he doesn't change his tune and he still wants to fight these guys, which is what we all want in the end. But until that happens, regardless, Haney is the man who beat the man. So he's the man.
And look, what last week we talked about Garcia being ringside with the PBC stable. That the next week following, it kind of got De La Hoya said, hey, we want Tank Davis. Garcia said we want Tank. If they build that fight, if Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia really gets made, you have Lomachenko ready to make his comeback. That even gives us more reason to see Haney Kambosos over, to let those guys figure out what they're doing if they do fight each other, and then maybe we can get a matchup between the winner of Kambosos and Haney, which would probably be Haney. Obviously, he'd be the favorite. A build up for that fight. So we still got potential as long as Garcia and Tank are on there and that path to still fight, lightweights are going to be doing fine because it's going to build up a huge fight. The winner of Garcia Tank versus Haney.
There you go. Let's move 2 days after that and talk about the end of Nonito Donaire.
Oh, R.I.P. One for the homie. Damn. You want to start on this one, Andrew? Shit.
I had a weird. You remember that movie? You remember that prison movie, America Me? You guys, has any of you guys ever seen Edward James Olmos?
Mm-hmm.
You remember at the end of the movie when they asked him if he was coming out to the yard? He really didn't have to. He didn't have to come out of the cell, but he does anyways to get stabbed 1,000,000 times and thrown over the 5th tier.
Yeah,
that's what it kind of looked like. Nonito did. Listen, man, he went out like a champ, but he didn't have to do that, man. Hats off to Donaire. That was old school fucking old lion versus new lion. We're going to meet in the middle and see what happens. These men were throwing hard balls fast. You knew one of these punches were going to stop. Unfortunately, Nonito's chin did not show up on this night. And once he started getting hit by the, what do they call him? The monster? Is that what his,
yes.
in a way is?
Yeah.
Once he started getting hit by it was bad. It was bad. In that second round, it literally looked like Nonito's spirit left. When he got hit with that hook, he just drops his hands. He just drops his hands. Instead of just going down, it was almost like he wanted, in a way, to take him out. He was okay with it. Now, it was a sad sight, but you've seen a lot of these legends do it. Hat off to Donaire on a great career. I gotta say, with Haney representing Oakland, California, and he represented on the night he beat Kambosos, and you have Donaire from San Leandro, California. I know he represents all of the Bay Area, but he was from San Leandro. Then you have Andre Ward, inducted into the Hall of Fame this week out of Oakland, California. Northern California has put out 3 all-time legends where I gotta say we've taken over boxing in the California state. Southern California used to be the mecca of boxing for our state, but not anymore with Ward, Haney, and Donaire. And you even got Robert Guerrero, who will probably find his way into the Hall here soon too, because of what he did in the sport. It speaks to where Northern California is right now. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Donaire had a great career, but no, I do not want to see him in the ring. I hope this is it for him.
Me too. I will leave all my comments till I'm healthy.
I'm sure Donaire is happy about that.
I'm positive.
Yeah, he wants his words to be.
That cruises with all right, so we're up to Friday now.
Well, hold on. A couple of words on Donaire before we head to Friday.
Please.
Just, first, to touch on what Andrew was saying, good point about the Northern California part. The only, I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure. The only gripe I think I have with that is that, Ward is out of the picture. He's not in the ring anymore. Donaire is no longer in the ring anymore. So it just is like, Haney now kind of representing. It's nice though, and still that there is somebody that continues. He's at that young age that he's going to take over, basically the flag bearer, in other words. So granted, it's not them 3 active at the same time anymore, but he is still the flag bearer and a very positive one at that. Like, there's a fucking huge potential for like a long ass Hall of Fame career ahead for Haney. So that's cool.
No, but Miguel,
yeah.
Southern California's last 3 Hall of Famers is probably who? Mosley, De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas. They haven't had really any right now. The Bay Area has 3 Hall of Famers. 2 of them are legends. I think Nonito Donaire has the best left hook boxing's ever seen, and this is coming from a man who, Chavez was the greatest fighter that ever lived, and when I grew up. But Nonito Donaire's left hook was something else. It's a thing of beauty. It had a mind of its own. But no, that's all I mean by that. With the last 3 legends out of California are all coming from the Bay Area. I think it's De La Hoya and Mosley. Am I missing someone from Southern California who's done more for the sport of boxing than Donaire Ward or now what soon as be Haney, because Haney's only 23, but he's done something that no one else has done. So am I missing someone from Southern California?
Southern or Northern, you mean?
Southern.
Oh,
After De La Hoya Mosley era, the Fernando Vargas era, who's the fighter that you'd say would be their next legend?
Shit, I don't know. I'm not sure. Right offhand, I'm not sure if I can, come up with it.
Same here, bro. Off the top, and that's what I'm saying. I think I remember, like Lee. You remember a few years ago, I thought Fresno, California, was taking over on the fan base. The top kept selling out fucking arenas there. Those people would show up for their fighters. But with Haney coming out as undisputed at 23, representing Oakland, it's a good thing for Northern California. Northern California has always been behind the ball in amateur boxing, but it seems to be on the upswing right now.
Yeah, exactly. So on the subject of Donaire, damn, it sucked to watch it. It sucks to see it. It was early in the morning. I'm popping. I wake up, right, I go get ready for work because I start at 4 a.m. And the card already started, right? It's already a couple of fights in. And it's like, all right, the main event is going to come up in a bit here, and I'm like half working, half like, all right, expecting this fight to be a good fight, and for the long as it lasted, it was pretty damn good. It seemed pretty close. Granted, it was very very early on, so it wasn't like the fight really got started, but man, holy hell, did anyway like not give Nonito a fucking chance. Like he had him hurt and he went in for the goddamn kill. Holy hell. Like that's how it's done, and it opens up the doors. I mean, if there was any questions about him prior to this because of that first fight with Nonito regarding Inoue, that those should be fucking gone at this point. So I'm sure that he's got some, potential, money fights up ahead, which is off the hook because, those weight divisions, I do like those lighter weight divisions. They don't get the fucking credibility or the notoriety, I should say, that the spotlight as much as they probably should. So, with his fight coming up here in a few weeks or next week, I think it is. I'm not sure no, not next week. With Rodriguez, Bam Rodriguez, and Soren Visai. That one, bringing more spotlight to those weight divisions. I'm digging that shit. About Nonito himself, man, it was hard to watch. It really was hard to watch, but holy hell, just like you said, Andrew, like he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go out like that shit, but he did it. Holy fuck it, he did it. I mean, if we can title this show anything, it would be like Filipino Me. It's basically going to be fucking, the Filipino version of American Me, and having, Nonito go out there and be like, all right, I'm going to get shanked. I'm going to get shanked in front of this Japanese crowd. And this is it. Everybody's going to witness the end of Nonito. I don't remember at least if he specified or specifically said like, all right, guys, this is it. I'm out the door. He didn't do the, traditional leaving the gloves in the ring kind of deal, anything like that. So, and I'm not sure if there has been any official announcement since then, but this should be it. Granted, no fighter wants to go out on a loss, right? End his career. They all want to do it on their own terms and say, look, I want to go out on a win, but no shame whatsoever losing to a top 5 or maybe top 5, but pound for pound, in a way. I'm not sure if he's a top 5 or not according to certain lists, but there's no shame in that. There's no shame in losing to a motherfucker like that, and there's no shame in going out that way. Like it has to be like I'm not sure if it could have happened any other way. If he was gonna lose, it had to happen that way, and it had to happen there in Japan, in a way his home country. So yeah, it sucks, but I mean he fucking Nonito did the Filipino Me, Filipino Me. That's gonna be the in thing because he went out like a fucking champ. He went out like a gangster, really.
Yeah.
There you go. Moving forward, Top Rank was in. Top Rank had a card and Oscar had a card. Did I get that right?
Yesterday, last night.
Oh, DAZN. Yeah,
DAZN on Oscars.
It was Golden Boy. Yep.
Yeah. And then this Berlinga mess this weekend.
Yes, that was Top Rank. Yes.
That was really tough to watch. Especially because the UFC was so great.
I know, unexpectedly great too. Yeah, unexpectedly.
Yeah. Shevchenko got robbed, but neither here nor there. I thought the Berlinga fight, I thought it was closer. I mean, that clearly looked like a Bob fix.
Mm-hmm.
I surely thought that was a closer fight.
Yeah. When I heard, I mean, my dad right now is in Tijuana, and over there they don't have pay-per-views and all that shit, right? So they get stuff for free. I mean, not that the Berlanga fight wasn't pay-per-view, but I'm saying like over there they get all the fights. Anyway, he texts me. He's like, "What? 99, 91, or whatever the fuck that scorecard." He's
Oh
like,
no,
"What the fuck?"
there was a
Like
shutout.
from over there, he fucking texts me like, "What the hell kind of decision shit is that?"
Bob.
Like, I really, yes, Bob, and it's Puerto Rican Day or Puerto Rican weekend or whatever, New York, yada yada yada. They're in the MSG or like the theater in MSG, making a big fucking deal about that. But it was, man, and you know what? And not to jump ahead to the end of the fight, but at the end of the fight, what's his name? Fucking Kriegel and Bradley were going at it. Like it got pretty heated for a quick second, and it almost seemed it's like Joe Testosterone and fucking Mark Kriegel, they were like on the same page, and fucking Bradley was the only one who was just going against the grain, almost just to be fucking annoying. And it was just like they would not get through his fucking big ass head. They're like, no, 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 dude. Yes, he won, but it looked like so and so. And he's like, well, a win is a win, and a win is a win. It's like, oh my god, dude, are you not fucking listening to what they're saying? Shit. It's almost like he's not listening to what these dudes are saying, but rather just waiting for them to finish talking so he can talk. So it was, I mean, it I 100% I agree with Kriegel. Like it did not look good on top of the shitty ass decision, right? The scorecards, but he got busted up a little bit, right? If you look at their faces, his face, granted, is not that much, but it's still his face. Berlengo, I'm saying his face looked worse than fucking Angulo's. It's like what the hell? Angulo was like chilling in his locker room being interviewed by fucking Osuna, and he just looked like he just had a sparring session basically. Just like goddamn, it's crazy how like the wide the scores were considering how not that wide the fight was. And then I add to that the clear frustration of Berlanga with attempting to bite Angulo. I'm not sure if he actually managed to bite him or not, because after all, he does have the mouthpiece on. But that's still no excuse. You don't go for fucking biting. Nonetheless, he tried to pull a fucking vampire thing and bite the dude's neck, and it was really bad. And it's bad when like the favorite is ahead on the scorecards, gets frustrated to the point where he has to bite the motherfucker. Like what, dude, you understand that you're winning the fight. Don't fucking risk it. Damn well, like did his corner like give him somehow the impression that he wasn't winning the fight, or did he himself think he wasn't winning the fight and said, I'm gonna have to risk it or go try something different to try to get Angulo off his brain, or like try to get him off his game plan or something to kind of shake him up a little bit with the biting. So it looked bad, and it was bad. I mean, it sucked that was the main event, because the fight was relatively uneventful. But it had its moments here and there, and it sucks that was kind of the way the night ended. And Kriegel hit it right on the money. Like, what are we gonna remember about this fight? It was the bite. It wasn't the fact that he won. It wasn't that he maybe the shitty scorecards or something else we're gonna remember. But that just made things so fucking worse, and it showed his immaturity. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's a young cat. Yeah, but you don't do that. That's not the kind of things you fucking do. Some guys do low blows, some guys do headbutts, but goddamn, when you go to the point of biting, it's like, wow, bro, you really need to fucking pump the brakes on that shit. Nonetheless, he got the win, still undefeated, and the knockout streak ended several fights ago. So I'm not sure if he's gonna, that's gonna pick back up at any point, considering the type of competition that they're starting to give him now, which even now is not that top, but he still seemed to be struggling with journeyman type dudes. Nonetheless, he got the victory, so congratulations, I guess. But man, that was not a good look at all.
Andrew.
He got the victory. He lost a lot of fans in doing it. Look, the bite was real. Top Rank really needs to, and I know they will. I ain't telling them nothing they probably didn't talk about last night. They got to look at how much they want to invest into Berlanga. Berlanga hasn't grown any since his knockout streak has ended, since the pickup of opposition. He's starting to look like a hype job. Ordinary, yeah. And so if Top Rank's probably going to match him up with another young contender they have, maybe someone we haven't heard of yet, just to try to get him out of there and get someone else in, because it doesn't look good. Not only does he hasn't grown any, the bite is significant, man. That like, what the hell are you thinking? The kid's been in boxing way too long. and we know
Mhm.
about his troubled past. You know, they wanted to go out there and talk about his dad being in prison and being out of his life and all that. Well, maybe that's where that bite comes from. But do you really want to invest millions into this kid? Were there millions on the line when he bit the guy? Because what's going to happen when there's millions on the line? So yeah, I don't really think too much. I think Zanis, how do you say Xander Zanis? I think his stock, his stock really went up last night with Top Rank. Bob probably called him immediately after the fight and said, "You're my guy."
Yes.
Possible.
I do want to throw one more thing out there.
Yeah.
Inoue still has Estrada sitting under him, which would be a huge fight for Inoue. But you know what's sitting right above him now? Is that Stephen Fulton, undefeated American kid.
Yep. Unified champ. Yep.
Yeah, we got some great fights here. If these guys are able to somehow get it together, yeah, it looks like the small men are going to be having some great fights here. So I just want to put that out there. I want Fulton Inoue. I know I wanted Estrada at first, and if Estrada goes, that's fine. Those two are undefeated. Fulton and Inoue, undefeated, both unified.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
that would be fucking badass. That would be sick. Cause like, and here's the thing, like, I'm not sure. I don't right offhand. I don't know their height, but Inoue is no small dude. I mean, yes, he is obviously but not for the weight class. I'm saying like he doesn't look like a small motherfucker, and he's got pop. Like he can go up. What is it? From 118 to 122, and sometimes that it matters. Just 4 fucking pounds. Sometimes it matters, but when he doesn't have to cut that weight to make 118, you have to assume that his pop is going to be maybe even stronger. Granted, you are talking about a heavier weight division, so the punches aren't going to be hurting as much. But considering how much Fulton has gotten hit, and he does get hit, he's not his defense isn't bad by no stretch, and the guy still comes out pretty unscathed from his fights, and undefeated, unified champ. So he definitely has the merit, right? He's earned that spot. But he gets hit, and who the fuck knows with that fucking that left hand that the Inoue's got, goddamn, and he was fucking smashing Nonito with both hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both hands. Granted, is the left one that does it, but man, holy shit, that would be a badass scrap. If he decides, I don't want to wait for any of these small guys to come up, or he doesn't want to go back down or anything like that, and he wants to go up to 122. That fight with Fulton would be badass.
Yep.
There you go. Does that cover for all the fights?
As it?
No.
So, yeah. No. Oh.
Munguia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Munguia. Yeah. Friday. Yeah.
All
Where
right.
did he fight on Saturday? Well,
It was last night.
I saw you guys chatting about it. How was it?
Yeah. You want to go first on this one, Andrew?
Go ahead, Miguel.
All right. So, good Lord, this guy does not seem to be improving for shit. He does not seem to be improving for jack shit,
Damn it.
man. Goodness, you know what I'm saying? And every time I hear, I think either it's Mannix or probably like Todd Grisham saying, the zone commentators, like, oh, he's had 4 fights or 3 fights with Erik Morales already, and he seems to be improving every time. Like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's so not. Goddamn. Like, quit that shit. Maybe one of those fights he looked pretty good because he was moving his waist a little bit, or he was moving his upper body, and he was getting out of some punches, out of the way, out of some punches. So for a quick second, I was like, oh shit, you know what? I think he is improving. I mean, he should be. He is at that age where he best be fucking improving. So there's a lot of hope, with having Erik Morales in his corner. I don't know what the hell happened there, because I think if I recall correctly, maybe his second fight with Morales, it did look like he was improving, and that just halted because it did not look in his last fight and last night specifically. He was fighting this dude and a virtual unknown in Jimmy Kelly, and they're fighting at a catch weight of 165 pounds, so it wasn't even at the middleweight limit. I'm not sure. This is just kind of one of those. It appeared as though the keep me busy fights until a bigger money fight basically happened. He seems to be doing and yeah, I'm sure part of the blame is on De La Hoya, or even all of it if you want to go that far. But these are all keep me busy fights. These are all like these guys that he's fucking fighting. You know, and with the exception maybe of the Gabe Rosado one, which has a little bit more notoriety. People, you know who fucking Gabe Rosado is. So at that point, you know, it's like, all right, now he's up in the competition. Now, you know, the level of competition, we're starting to see that. And then, you know, we see how he struggled last night against a virtual unknown. It's like, what the hell? You know, he looked flat. He looked like he was getting smacked around those first few rounds. It looked as though, you know, Kelly was able to catch him with that lead left hand. And he was doing this, Munguia was doing this thing where he would like close his eyes when the punches were coming. And it didn't look bad. It didn't look good at all, you know? And I was like, man, if this fight continues, if Kelly continues this way, he's gonna get the fucking victory. Like, I don't give a fuck if they're in, you know, in Anaheim. Like, there's no way he's going to get, you know, this robbed if the fight continues this way. At some point, you know, Munguia's power kicked in, and then boom, we have ourselves a KO or TKO. And, you know, to some degree, once Kelly got hit, he was looking for the door. You know, that's what it looked like. He got hit and he's like, oh shit, this is what that power feels like. And it seems, I don't want to use the word scared because I don't like to use the word scared when it comes to professional prize fighters. When they're up in that ring, they're in that ring, right? But it was obvious when he got hit and he felt that power, he's like, okay, he was looking for the door. And, you know, that uppercut, although it did land pretty well, that sent him down the second time, it didn't look like that was going to send him to the canvas, but it went down anyway. So, yeah, you know, in the end, the power bails him out. You know, it thankfully the you know he keeps his undefeated you know record and whatever secondary belt he has at middleweight. I mean, even though it wasn't up for grabs, but it was still a 12 rounder. You know, he didn't look good. He didn't, and I want to say, like, I don't remember what round it was, but I think Eric Morales was kind of on his ass, like low key in Spanish. He was telling him, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we got to get up. Like, the time to pick it up, man. And I mean, either he did or just one of those punches eventually landed. It did not look good for Munguia for shit. You would hope that when you see him, you know, every fight, there's a new wrinkle, you know, there's something new. And even if it isn't new, it's like an improvement on something that he wasn't doing well before, something along those lines, right? Something that shows that there's forward progress. And it just did not look like that. And I mean, I don't know, just looking at his face and it just looks like the dude was taking a nap, you know? I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Wake up, you know, this is the fight. There's no way he beats Charlo like that. No fucking way. You know, let alone any of the other guys at super middleweight. If he ever intends to go up to super middleweight, but anybody else at middleweight, I mean, shit, I might even go as far as to say that he doesn't beat Boo Boo Bubba the way he fought last night. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't look good. He got the victory. Thankfully, that KO, you know, the power bailed him out and he keeps his undefeated record. And there's still money fights on the table. But I mean, shit, at this point, it's like maybe, you know, De La Hoya just needs to cash out already and be like, all right, throw him in the fucking, you know, sacrifice him, send him to you know, Boo Boo, and send him to Triple G, send him to Charlo, and just get it over with already because it doesn't seem like he's progressing much.
They should have done it at the junior middleweight division. They should have done it at the middleweight division. Look, he's a case of the JoJo Diaz, man. He's always looked subpar. He's never advanced in his career. How do you say he is the Mexican Tank Davis, in my opinion. He always has been. He takes punches right off of his chin. He keeps coming forward, and eventually his power gets to you. That's been his whole career. But there's always been writing on the wall that he was not elite. And we've talked about this. 12 rounds with Liam Smith, 11 rounds with Gary O'Sullivan, 12 rounds with Gabriel Rosado. These are the bottom of the barrel. While they're known fighters in those divisions, they're the bottom of the top 10. You're not looking spectacular against these guys. What's going to happen when you fight in one, Jermell Charlo, Lara, Hurd? If you fought these guys are nowhere near those other the competition that he was up against. And then you go up to middleweight, Triple G, Jermall, and who else is there? Well, Canelo already left, but you understand the middleweights would still be Boo Boo, Andrade. A lot harder competition than what they've given him. The Dennis Hogan fight, he lost that fight. Remember in Tijuana?
Yeah.
He lost that fight. They gave it to him on the card. So De La Hoya's always known what he had in Munguia. Maybe they do a good profit on the return at the live gate. I don't know what it is, why they keep him at this level. But no, I see no advancement in his career. You just got to throw him in the deep water and see if he can swim. That's all there's left. And really, I've been calling for this for a division now, because now he's talking about going to a third division, and he ain't shit in the first two divisions. So
give him somebody like Murata. Like Murata just lost his belt to fucking Golovkin. He's coming off a loss, right? And he's that wouldn't be a bad deal, a former champion, or I think two-time champion if I'm not mistaken. And the guy is coming off a loss, so he has momentum is going to be obviously on Munguia's side, but he's got himself a former champion on his record if he's able to come away with it and see how he looks. Murata isn't exactly a power puncher, so it's kind of sort of as safe as you can get, right? It's still sort of upping the level of competition, but not going to the deep end, yet, even though you probably should have already. But I mean, somebody like Murata wouldn't be bad at all. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be a good, DAZN card if they can ever do that shit. But I mean, man, I'm not sure. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Either this is one of two things. Either Erik Morales is a shitty coach, or like Munguia is just not executing. Because the coaches, excuse me, the coaches can only do so much. They can only teach so much. If the fighter doesn't have it, if the fighter is incapable of doing these things or competent enough to actually execute the game plan, there's a disconnection there somewhere, and we don't know who it is. We don't want to point the fingers at one or the other yet, but I mean, in the end, the one that looks bad is. Even though the fighter is a reflection of the coach, it's ultimately the fighter in the ring, and he's the one that takes the L or the W, whatever the two, right? So it's going to ultimately come down on Munguia, and we need to see something in him in the coming, and maybe he said something about fighting. Well, he did call out Charlo, of course, so he did mention towards the end of the year, hey, fuck it, if that's what's gonna happen, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna have to take those damn training wheels off, because I mean, this motherfucker's falling over with training wheels on, for Christ's sake. So it's not looking very good. But hey, if we're gonna feed him to the sharks already, let's just go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off.
Because of his, they say styles make fights. Mm-hmm. I also think when you're matching a trainer and a fighter, styles make for good matches on that side too. And Morales' style does not match up to Munguia's. So unfortunately, in my opinion, I believe Morales has that job more because of who he is than how he's training Munguia or changing Munguia. Munguia is not Erik Morales. He doesn't have the same body style as him, boxing ability as him, reflexes as him. This young, and am I mistaken? Munguia has been fighting professionally since he was under 18 years of age, right?
Right, yeah.
He was one of those 15-year-olds. Yeah, I believe they got at it real early. So he's 25. He has 40 victories. There's nothing new happening here. This guy has made already. If anything, the only thing they're doing is damaging him by putting him in with C-level opposition. And once he hits that A level overnight, because it is, I mean, if he went from fighting who was the young man last night? Like, I'm already forgetting his name.
Kelly. Yeah, Jimmy Kelly. Yeah.
Kelly to Charlo, you're going from C level to A level overnight. He's not ready for that. And then sometimes these guys, they get used to fighting these tomato cans, these showcases, right? Where they think, no, I'm supposed to just walk in here, throw a few punches, and you're going to go down. Doesn't work like that when you hit the elite. So I love the Murata matchup. Not mad at that at all. But definitely it's time for De La Hoya to fucking do something with Munguia and the other guy, 175, Ramirez. He has really stalled both of these guys' careers, and they've been undefeated. They've been champions, done everything he's asked for, yet he can't get them a big fight.
There you go. How was this good for you?
We miss you, Lee. We miss your input.
Well, yes. I'm gonna die. So
no, goddamn.
Probably my last show.
No,
I can barely breathe as I sit here and hawk up a lung and shake to death. With it's crazy. We appreciate all of you for listening.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got a good fight being talked about. I didn't know if you're doing news. You guys hear about Talks are in way right now for Shakur Stevenson and Emmanuel Navarrete.
Oh no. Where'd you hear that?
I've seen it on the internet. Now
Oh.
you could look for it, but yeah,
Mhm.
I heard during talks, man, this is going to be huge. That's another huge fight at the smaller weight divisions for us. But Navarrete, Stevenson, yeah, that's if that's pay-per-view, I'm buying.
Ooh, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, it'll be pretty off the hook if it was just on regular ESPN Plus, right? Which it generally, I mean, if Valdez and Shakur was on ESPN Plus, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that this one will be as well, which I'm not gonna complain about. But yeah, if it's pay per view, I have no problem paying it. Although, shout out to VIP Box, I did use yesterday them for the UFC card. But yeah, I would gladly pay for that one. I'm not sure how that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, breaking news. Breaking news again. Shakur Stevenson versus Emmanuel Navarrete talks have failed. Fight not happening.
Wow.
Son of a
In
bitch.
real time. Goddamn, we're all
Sorry,
over here
guys.
fucking getting hard and boned up over this shit, and then fucking blue balls.
You got a good UFC. Consider yourself lucky. You got a good UFC last night.
That's a good point, man. Already, does it say anything about like why? Like, is that what it is? I mean, money, most likely.
Money. That's absolutely right.
Damn
I
it.
think it's someone priced himself out.
Navarrete. It had to be Navarrete. Maybe Shakur, but I mean, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the lion's share is going to go to Shakur anyway. I mean, unless he wanted more, which is greedy as shit, right? But I don't know. Does he really think that Navarrete? I don't know. It seems as though it would be Navarrete the one who was asking for the extra cash.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That is what they're saying in the story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that sucks, man. That was hot for about 24 hours.
Yeah, that literally breaking news. Fucking hell. All right.
Well, if you're on John Ruiz's site, he's back in the gym, and he's actually putting videos of himself in the gym training.
Oh, future Triller card, huh?
I imagine.
I would have to imagine. I mean, I don't think anybody else would pick that motherfucker up anyway.
Never know.
No. Do we have any fights coming up this week? We got fights this weekend, don't we?
Do we have fights this weekend?
I'm pretty sure we got fights this weekend, and not bad ones either.
Okay.
Yeah,
somebody got a computer up?
Yes. Better Biev and Joe Smith Jr. on ESPN.
I am just barely able to push buttons and say complete sentences.
That's all right. We got ESPN Plus, top ranked fight, Better Biev and Joe Smith Jr. For Better Biev's IBF and WBC belt, and Joe Smith's WBO belt. So we're gonna have 3 belts unified at light heavyweight on Saturday. That's gonna be on ESPN Plus. And we have, speaking of the lightweights, we have Ryan Garcia back. He's fighting Javier Fortuna on DAZN. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, I think those are the 2 main ones happening this weekend.
I'm over Ryan Garcia.
We're not over. Look, let him get through Fontoura, and if they go after Davis, he's back, because this is a young man who is still fighting. He was doing good before he went on his little, whatever happened to him in his personal life that took him away from boxing. Let him get through this victory. If they work out a match with Davis, that's an awesome fight. I'm all in. The Better Be versus Smith. It was so much more interesting when Canelo actually was a part of that division.
Yeah.
Now with Canelo gone, it's like, you're gonna fight Bivol. No one will care, but whatever. So I'm going for Joe Smith. I want the American. He's a veteran. He's been through a lot of wars. I hope he pulls out an upset victory, gets a big payday versus Bivol. Of course, I will be watching both fights no matter what, but I'm just saying it was all of their pockets were fatter when Canelo was in the division. With him gone, and it went back to just being the light heavyweights.
Right. Correction. Sorry, I got the dates wrong on the Ryan Garcia fight. Sorry, that's going to be July 16th. Sorry. So my bad on that one. I jumped the gun. I saw it out here. I was like, oh shit, they're like listed right next to one another. But no. July 16th is Ryan Garcia and Fortuna. So damn it, all we got is fucking Better Biev and Joe Smith this weekend. Fucking hell.
Okay.
But I'm still watching it regardless. Yes.
Watch.
Exactly. To piggyback off what you said, Andrew. Yes, it things were just a lot more juicier with fucking Canelo in the picture, right? At light heavyweight. It was sort of kind of like what Roy Jones did when he moved up to light heavyweight. It just seemed like there was no one else in the goddamn weight division. So, with Canelo moving up and having a superstar there, and having the top dudes like Beterbiev and Bivol. You know, I don't know if I'd consider Joe Smith necessarily the top dude. He does have a belt, of course, but you know, fuck it, throw him in there in the damn picture. And of course, on top of that, Zurdo Ramirez. Like, that's a pretty stacked, you know, light heavyweight division. And these guys either, you know, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Boxing has been giving us some pretty damn good fucking title unification fights in the last couple of months. You know, with what we had here with recently with Devin Haney and Cambosos, and then Castaño and fucking what's his name, and Charlo, one of the Charlos. You know, which one, I forgot which one it was again. And then now we're gonna have another unification in the light heavyweight division. So this stuff is like what we want to happen, right? This is the kind of things we want to see, the best fighting the best.
Even the
And
Fulton Figueroa. Fulton Figueroa was a great fight. Yeah.
And you know, these fights are like, you know, they seem to be coming a little bit more. I'm not sure if it's just because these guys' weight divisions aren't as popular, and they're like, well, fuck it, we don't have that much to lose, you know, to fight.
I think
you know,
it's more of like a COVID hangover.
Well,
because they had so much time off before they got back to it. Now it seems to be very fast.
Well, it just seems it seems as though people, and this is what we want, right, out of professional prize fighters. They're taking the risk. They're putting their O on the line, and that is what matters. They're putting their belts on the line and their O's on the line, and that's the kind of risk that you get that ultimately comes with, you know, higher fucking paydays, right? So these guys are seeing the dollar signs and saying, okay, not about, you know, protecting the O any longer. Let's go ahead and get paid and put it on the line against other top dudes, and we're seeing it more frequently, and we're gonna get another one this weekend with Beterbiev and Joe Smith. So you know, we have this. There was this line in The Office. I don't know if you guys watch The Office, but I don't watch it. I just know what this line is from there, where this dude says, you know, I wish, you know, there's a way for us to know when we're in the good old days before they end. You know, we want to know that we're actively in that part before it ends, because then once it ends, we look back and we're like, shit, those were the good old days, right? Those were the glory days. It's like, let's take a moment and like reflect, you know, take a moment, smell the fucking roses, and like, oh shit, we're in the middle of a pretty damn good run in fucking boxing. So let's go ahead and soak up as much as we possibly can and enjoy this weekend's fight as well.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's how we'll end this show.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. I'm going to die slowly.
No, God damn it. No.